Hello, my name's Shalise. Welcome out everybody to my Extreme Rules 2020 review. Here's the thing, everybody. Was this show great? Was it bad? Was it terrible? This show to me was actually a good show. I was thoroughly entertained for most of the matches, even though I do not like that this was called the horror show just because of you got Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman in a swamp match and Seth Rollins in a freaking what do you call it, an eye poke match. This entire show was not really extreme, and forgive the background noise of the freaking crickets. I cannot control that. But what happened in the Extreme Rules? Let's start off with the pre-show. The pre-show had Buddy Murphy versus Kevin Owens. This was a standard Raw TV match and all that stuff. I mean, what'd you expect? You think Buddy Murphy's going to beat Kevin Owens? No. Buddy Murphy, no matter how talented he is not going to beat up a big star such as Kevin Owens. This match lasted 9 minutes. It was a good match. Kevin Owens wins for a pre-show. It was a nice, quick match just to watch. But to me, it's just like, okay, T-minus 4 seconds, I've already forgot about it. Shouldn't be even a pre-show, shouldn't be on a pay-per-view. I don't even care if it has unique timing available. Forget the timing and all that stuff. Don't keep it like this. Give it to Raw, make this a main event. Buddy Murphy and Kevin Owens deserve better. Now, the next match, the official match, was the Tornado Tag Team match for Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro versus the New Day. Here's the thing. I did not really care for this match. This was like the only match I kind of did not care for all too much. I gave this match a B-, a C+. I want to give it a C+, to be honest with you. But here's the thing. Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro won the tag team titles from the New Day. That's surprising. Cesaro basically did a powerbomb, drew 2 tables to Kofi from the top of the ring apron to the, not ring apron, to the top rope, all the way to the outside of the ring and all that stuff. So to me, this match was actually just a standard match. I mean, we were seeing them just feuding over the last month, just Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura to gain victories over the New Day, and it's very rare that we actually get to see the villains actually, the predictable route wins. The good guy wins, the bad guys wins. When somebody wins on the previous week, the champion's gonna win the pay-per-view and all that stuff. But to this, I was surprised. So, WWE, congratulations. You actually did something that was shocking. But to me, I didn't really care for this match overall. The ending is what saved it. But why I'm not giving it a higher grade is because of the fact that I do not trust that WWE is going to give Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro a good run with the tag team titles. I would not be surprised if the titles went back to the New Day at SummerSlam. It would be absolutely shocking if Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura can't hold on to those tag team titles. Next matchup was Bayley versus Nikki Cross, and this to me was Nikki Cross's best main event match since her debut into the main roster. This was the Nikki Cross from NXT. Early on, Nikki Cross gets her finisher on Bayley, her swinging that breaker, and I thought for a second that they were going to actually get Nikki Cross the championship. I'm like, oh, hold it. But thankfully they did not. Bayley retained the title and all that stuff. This was a very hard physical match. I mean, Nikki Cross was aggressive, constantly attacking Bayley. She hit her finisher twice on Bayley, one inside the ring, which Bayley kicked out, and one on the outside. It was a pretty dang good match and all that stuff. And Nikki was ferocious with flying cross bodies, with an inside the ring to outside the ring. Bayley was just as aggressive to Nikki and all that stuff. Some great running knees to the face and all that stuff. I mean, Bayley is, to me, the best woman of the entire WWE right now, of the main roster. And Bayley did a tremendous job. I love her heel persona. I love what they're doing with her. I mean, there were so many great moments. I mean, Bayley had a belly-to-belly. I mean, at the end of the day, they win because Sasha Banks interferes. Alexa is dealing with Sasha Banks, and then Bayley takes the boss's ring, hits Nikki Cross in the stomach, and then does her finisher and gets a pin. It was a very hard-hitting match. I would give this match a B+. This was a very good match, but to me, I don't know how I feel about Bayley hitting Nikki in the stomach and then doing the finisher. I think it would have been a lot different, but to me, I really did enjoy this match, and I'm glad to see we saw a glimpse of the Nikki Cross of old in NXT. So, good match. Bayley retains the title as she should have. B+. Next match wasn't even a match. It was MVP versus Apollo. Thank God this match didn't happen because I was tired of seeing MVP and Apollo Crews in the same ring together. Apollo Crews didn't show up, so MVP wins by forfeit. So, the United States title's on MVP, the new one. And I don't care for the new United States title. I still prefer the old one. I get that you need to do a redesign. I don't mind it for redesign, but I didn't like how it looked. And MVP versus Apollo Crews didn't happen. It was just MVP wins by forfeit and all this stuff. I think Apollo Crews might have coronavirus. You never know. Maybe their side style. Maybe this is the storyline to get Apollo off of TV and all this stuff, and to just strip him of the title and just give it to MVP. But you never know. Next matchup, Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins, the eye socket match. Right away, these two were hitting at each other. They were trying to get steel chairs, use the steel chairs at the ends just to poke out the eye. They were doing everything humanly possible to do it. I mean, Seth Rollins did the Falcon Arrow onto the apron. Rey Mysterio had connected with the 619. He did a lot of Hurricanranas, Tornado DDTs. There was such great wrestling with Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio. As you expect, this was a B+ match to me. A very good match as well. This story was just there trying to poke out the eye of Rey Mysterio, and Seth did that. Seth got the win over Rey Mysterio. They did the same thing like they did last time. They did the knee thing. You know, not the knee. You know how they used the freaking steel steps? That's how it was. They didn't use no other different technique. They used the steel steps in order to get Rey Mysterio's eye socket out, and the referee called the match. So I was kind of disappointed they didn't try to do it a different way. Seth Rollins looked kind of disgusted at himself, and people were booing him, and he just really felt like that guy who was ashamed of what he's done and all that stuff. Rey Mysterio got his eye taken out. Who knows where this is gonna go? This is probably gonna go with Seth gonna feud with now Rey Mysterio's son and all that stuff. So to me, this was a standard match. I'm happy that Seth won, and we didn't get the predictable story with Rey Mysterio winning. Maybe we're gonna see Dominic fight for his father's honor and all that stuff. Maybe I would much prefer if Dominic took this fight, lost to Seth Rollins, or you could have done a different thing. You got Seth Rollins about to do the thing to Rey Mysterio, like take out his eye, and then Dominic comes in, begs him not to do it, and he'll join him. And I would have done something like that. Dominic joining Seth Rollins, not the Inner Circle on together AEW, but joining Seth Rollins and his group and all that stuff, and the Disciples. I would much prefer that, but you never know where this storyline's going. And hopefully, WWE actually does some creativity and actually do something good. But to right now, Rey Mysterio vs. Seth Rollins, B+. Very good match. Not my favorite, though. Now, Asuka versus Sasha Banks. This match lasted 20 minutes. And Asuka and Sasha Banks, oh my god, great match. I mean, Asuka, they went for early submissions early on, and they both connected on their submissions. Sasha Banks did technically like a crossface, you know, her bank statement and all this stuff to Asuka real early. Then Asuka did her one of her moves, the armbar and all this stuff, and just to get her to tap out. They both blocked it. There were some great spots. I mean, Sasha Banks off the top rope almost took a German from Asuka, landed on her knees, and they told the story of how Sasha Banks' knee was hurting and how she was so desperate. I have to be the champ. I have to be the champ. The fact that she jumped, they let her flip over, and she landed on her knees was such a tremendous spot. I can't even put to words how great Sasha Banks is in the ring. Asuka did some great moves as well. She connected with a German suplex to a Shining Wizard combo to a hip attack. There were some great spots in this entire match. You had Sasha Banks powerbomb Asuka at the plexiglass, and it goes down. Not the plexiglass goes down, but Asuka goes down with the plexiglass. I mean, this match was utterly freaking fantastic. There were so many moments where I thought Sasha was going to win, Asuka was going to win. This is what you want for one wrestling. This really stole the show for me. This was the best match of the evening, and I'm going to give it an A-. This was a great match and all this. If I say the only other match that kind of competes with was the Drew McIntyre match, and probably the Bayley and Nicky one. The Bayley and Nicky one surprised the shit out of me how much they let Nicky do. But this match, I expected it to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. How versatile these women were and how great they were. I mean, I knew they were versatile and great, but I didn't think they were going to take it to this level. And to me, this was a very entertaining match. This is definitely a match I would go back and see just because of the finish. I mean, there was this part of the match where Bayley was trying to interfere. Kairi Sane, Asuka's partner, tries to get in, and then Bayley does the freaking her finisher to Kairi Sane. She tries to interfere with Asuka. Asuka hits freaking Bayley with her with a kick to the head. During this time, Sasha's trying to get the title and try to take it to the freaking to Asuka, but the referee stops her. Asuka hits the referee with the green mist. He gets knocked out. Bayley takes out Asuka, and she puts on the freaking referee uniform, and she pins. And she makes the pin for Sasha. Sasha Banks takes the title from Asuka. I don't know where they're going. Maybe Sasha's not officially declared champion, but right now she is the champion. You never know she's going to be stripped. You never know they're going to be a double champion, all this stuff. But to me, I would not have made this decision. I would not have made this decision at all. Maybe we're just trying to follow the storyline, and maybe Sasha will be stripped, and maybe they'll save this for SummerSlam and all that stuff with Sasha Banks versus Asuka and the championship online. But Sasha is stripped, and Asuka's no longer the champion, and they're both not champions, and whoever wins wins, and all that stuff. I would save this for SummerSlam. But to me, this was a very, very good match, even though the finish kind of left me more questions than answers. But this was a great match. The match itself, fantastic. What do you expect from Sasha Banks and Asuka? Great match, A minus. Next match was Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. This one made this match interesting. That Dolph Ziggler said that basically to Drew that this is Extreme Rules only for me. You cannot use steel chairs. You cannot use tables. You cannot use anything. You cannot use low blows. The standard rules apply to you, but not for me. Drew was dominating early on with bellies to power bombs to suplexes and all that stuff. It got to a point where I thought this was going to be a squash match until Dolph Ziggler did a low blow to Drew McIntyre. Then he took control with a couple of chair shots and everything to a famous outside of the announcement table. There were some really great spots right here in this match. This was a very physical match and all this stuff. And I thought for a sec Drew was going to lose because he took so many zigzags, so many steel chairs, and so many combos and moves. I thought he was going to win. But it only took one Claymore for Drew McIntyre to beat Dolph Ziggler and all that stuff. I mean, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. Dolph Ziggler was going to go for the freaking super kick and all that stuff. Drew got back up immediately, that Shawn Michaels, hip kick up with the leg and all that stuff, and he did immediately the Claymore. It was a beautifully fantastic. They showed in slow motion. Dolph Ziggler, again, I love him. I say he was the most underused, underappreciated wrestlers of this generation. To me, he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time right now, just how freaking good he is in the ring. I think he's a underused talent. If he goes to any other promotion, he'll be a world champion instantly. I feel about Dolph Ziggler how I feel about Cesaro. Those are those are world caliber athletes that should be multi champions and all that stuff. But no, we do not get that. So Dolph Ziggler again loses to Drew McIntyre. What a predictable ending, but a very entertaining match. So I would give it a B plus. Dolph versus Drew McIntyre, very, very good match for Extreme Rules. And the last match, and this is the only true bone I have to pick with this pay per view. This show is called Extreme Rules, the Horror Show, or the Horror Show's Extreme Rules. The reason why they call it the Horror Show is because of the eye socket thing and Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt, which was not for the title. Why not? Braun Strowman's not going to defend the Universal Championship? Oh no, because we got to make him look strong. I don't care for Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is, to me, a terrible wrestler. He's like to me, he's not bad as Great Khali, but he's no Andre the Giant. He's no Big Show. He's just, I don't care for Braun Strowman whatsoever. The fact that they had a swan match, which was entertaining, it was cinematic, and all that stuff. They had a guy literally on fire who Braun Strowman was fighting. We had Alexa Bliss dressed up maybe like Sister Abigail in a sense, or like her, teasing Braun, we could be together forever. All his demons, all his past, all his lusts and desires and everything. So they played up that storyline with Alexa Bliss. I don't think it was necessary. I kind of pitched an idea 3 years ago to my friends that maybe Alexa Bliss could go on a losing streak and she'd be a different character like another Sister Abigail, and Bray Wyatt would return. That was my thing 3 years ago, but now I'm not sure where they're going with this. Maybe she won't either. Maybe they will have her continue. Probably not, but you never know where this is going. At the end of the day, Braun Strowman put Bray Wyatt into the lake and all that stuff, but then again, at the end, Bray Wyatt took Braun to the depths, and they never returned, so the match ended in no contest. So the match wasn't for the title. It didn't end in no victory for anybody. It was just a cinematic thing that ended in no contest. It was a nice, fun cinematic thing. I didn't hate it like I did the other cinematic ones, but I didn't love it. If Bray Wyatt would have won, I kind of would have preferred it, because then I would have done, my storyline would be Bray Wyatt wins this match, becomes Universal Champion. Braun Strowman is so desperate, challenges Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam, and Bray Wyatt would accept as the Fiend. And if Braun Strowman would lose, he would be now a slave to the Fiend or to Bray Wyatt. And then I would have a storyline continue for Braun Strowman, for the storyline to continue his story of him being a slave to Bray Wyatt and eventually breaking free, and maybe having a triple threat match versus Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, with the Fiend holding the title up to this time. Bray Wyatt holding the title to WrestleMania, the next WrestleMania. That's what I would have done. But I don't know where they're gonna go with. I think I know where they're gonna go with this. It's just gonna be the Fiend versus Braun Strowman again. And Fiend's gonna if the Fiend does not beat Braun Strowman at SummerSlam, Bray Wyatt's character is dead. He's nearly as dead. I mean, the fact that you let the Fiend lose to Goldberg, of all people, is the most stupidest thing alive. Was one of the most stupidest things alive. And the fact that Braun Strowman got the championship from Goldberg because he was a charity case is just... If anything, Braun Strowman should have won the title 2 years ago with Brock Lesnar, but no, he has to beat Goldberg because Roman Reigns pulled out of WrestleMania because, Corona and his leukemia and all that shit. So to me, Braun Strowman is just a paper champion. I'm sure the guy's a good guy and all stuff, but I did not care for this match. I like Bray Wyatt. I cannot stand what WWE has done for him over the years. But yeah, everyone, that was Extreme Rules, the Horror Show 2020. What's your personal opinion, everybody? Do you think it was a great show? Do you think it was a terrible show? What's your personal opinion, buddy, about the Extreme Rules Horror Show? Let me know what y'all think. Everyone named Jalise. Alright, for everybody. Bye-bye.